Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Mike and Bennett sit down to discuss working from home. From home. Which, quick little thing here, you can go through your schedule as well, depending upon how you do it. Monday, I typically spend at home. It winds up being in-office work. I've got a home office, do phone calls all day, trying to grab folks to line them up. Typically scheduling them for something the following week. Tuesdays through Thursdays, I go into Bunker Labs in the Frontier Building in RTP. Friday, I typically work from home. Again, on the computer, phone engagements, in front of the camera. I've got a studio here for both sound and video. And one of the things that is difficult when you first start out as an entrepreneur is maintaining focus and maintaining discipline, because you don't realize, it's kind of like working out. You don't realize that you're making gains every day until, you put your head down and you work. And then one day you look in the mirror and you're like, holy shit, stuff's starting to happen.
Yeah.
That's not what we're going to talk about on this episode. We're going to talk about all of the fucking time wasters. I've taken a bubble bath in the middle of the day with bubbles.
Yeah, but you were still working from the tub.
I was.
So here's what I'm doing right now, I can tell you. And this is pretty cool. All right, so right now I'm in my makeshift studio. And see, now listen, I don't know if you can hear it, because now you can probably hear a car in the background, right? But look, I'm outside walking around, watching squirrels jump in and out of trees and stuff. This is with a cup of coffee in my hand. I wish I was on camera right now. Looking at the beautiful sunrise here in upstate New York. And now I'm going to walk back inside. This is all as we're recording a podcast, right?
All right.
And now I'm going to sit back down at the desk. I could do it from the table out there. The problem is there's too much. Too much, there's cars and shit driving by. So we don't really want that on the audio, because we want the best quality audio for our audience.
Absolutely. Well, then one of the reasons why that's framed up, you see guys. Excuse me. You see guys. What's that?
Now I'm sitting back down at my desk.
Right. And you see guys all the time, like Ty Lopez and, all of these other dudes up on YouTube channels, like his commercial that's walking around his big ass fancy house. It's fantastic. I still have no idea what Ty Lopez does. I literally have no idea. I've researched the guy. I get it. He's supposedly an investor advisor. He does a number of different things. I still have no idea what that guy does. Whatever.
He makes lots of money. That's it.
Right.
That's what they do, and that's...
Yeah. Well, all that aside, the whole point, though, is that you don't need to have a Boulder status, $10 million home in order to start working from home. A lot of you are laughing about this because you already work from home, and you're just like, I sit around my sweatpants the majority of the time. Yeah, but
like
that's
how easy
not
it would
what
be
matters.
To work. Right. Or how easy it would be to actually set it up so you could work from home.
Right.
So, as you know, I don't know if our audience knows, obviously, I've moved back to New York from Delaware, and I switched jobs. I switched day jobs. Well, now that I've started there, probably within about the next 6 months, I will be doing that job from home.
Yeah.
That's the goal. In 6 months, I will be teleworking, doing that, and Cigars and Sea Stories and other things that we do.
Right.
Does it get any better than that, though, really? I mean, come on.
It does not, but there's one of the things, and I don't give a shit if anybody else steals this idea from me. Please do. I've always wanted to set a program up where, let's say you're a veteran and you want to open your home, Airbnb style, I guess you could call it, to another veteran and their family so that they could come through and check out the area. Like, I open my home all the time to people who want to recon Raleigh or Durham. I want to set up a program where you go to a military base and then you fly either guys who just EAS, now they're on terminal leave, and they have no fucking clue where they're going. Or there are folks who are in the SEPs and TAPS program, are 6 months back, and they're like, hey man, we're trying to figure out where we want to live. It's between Portland, San Diego, and Austin. Okay, where's your home record? My home record is Kansas City. Well, you and I, from understanding PCSs, maybe not this guy, they will move you back to your home record. That's just how it is. So if you draw a line...
Well, there is a caveat with that, though. And this to all those active duty folks out there.
Yeah.
You can change your home of record.
Right.
Just saying. They always... Nobody thinks you can, but you can. So just look into it if you need to. Continue, Mike.
So the reason why I say it, and that's a good point, but the reason why I say it is they're going to pay to move you to Kansas City. And then you're going to have to pay the additional charge to get a further distance away than Kansas City. So basically you take, you just take as a crow flies and then you draw an arc similar to your Libo range. And that's how far they're going to move you. The reason why I say it like this is because service members getting out of the Corps, out of the service, they would wind up having the opportunity to go and check out colleges, to scope out communities. They're linking up with a veteran who is already there and then being injected into that veteran's network, or in my case, subjected to my network. So also, you realize they're eligible for leave when they do that too, right? Right. So that's the other thing too, is you've got the whole house hunter thing, but that's PCS. Terminal leave, if they saved it, like me, I was done. When I EAS, that was it. I didn't have any terminal leave. Shunk, gone. Shunk, I'm out. 4 days later, I drove from San Diego to Boston, went to UMass Boston 4 days later. I went through the enrollment process and everything else without ever having to be there. And then I went there thinking that I could get my business into the Venture Development Center, and come junior year, because that's what they told me. They were like, yeah, you can get your business in here, blah, blah, blah. Over the phone. That's what the admissions and the folks over in the VDC at the time. I have no idea who's over there now. But yeah, man, I walked in my business into the Venture Development Center and they were like, no, you can't run a business. You as a junior can now intern. I'm like, fuck you. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like, I'm out of here. And I went home that night and immediately started the ball rolling to move. But it was painful going through the whole Christ. Now I moved here. They moved me up here and now I got to figure out how to get down to Raleigh. So in between my own ingenuity and I had to ask help from the folks, and it was just like, we got to get out of here in order to flourish in another area. Dude, that sucked. So that's the other caveat to working from home. If you go back to an area and you're starting from scratch, the way I was, I moved to Belmont, Massachusetts. I went to the VA. Shit, what's the name of the area up there? It's toward Bill Ricca and the Air Force Base that's up there. But I did that, and it was just me going cold into it, and I needed like 3 other people, and it really sucked, because I thought, like a PCS, I was just going to meet other Marines and corpsmen and then be injected into the unit, and that's not at all what happened. Right. So working from home in that aspect, if you don't like where you live, if you don't like your neighbors, if you're not connected to the veteran community, if you're isolated like I am out in the woods, it can be really, really lonely. Unless you take the initiative to get on the phone, call, do all of these other things, get out into your community. But again, that hinges on whether or not you like where you live. I really, really, I love for the first time in my life, literally for the first time in my life, I hated growing up in Midland. I hated it there. And then Twin Palms, California, like Stafford, Virginia. I don't care who you are. Stafford sucks. and so like bouncing all over the place. And then now I really love where I live. So working from home, it's not challenging, which I'm sure that you could attest to that. I'm done talking now.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, mine's a little different because I still have an actual. I don't know. I'm not able to work from home as much as I would like. Not now. Now, when I was living in North Carolina, I did a lot of it when we first started down this road. But one of the things I want to bring up, and I know that you want to talk about this too, Michael, is that it is a double-edged sword. Because if you don't have the discipline to just sit down and do work, you're not going to get work done.
Right.
Like, it's just as easy to get caught up in, like, the season of House of Cards on Netflix if you don't have your space. Like, you take yourself, put yourself in the space and, put yourself on a schedule.
And I would say this, if you're trying to figure out if you're doing like a little bit of a gut check to see if that's what you want to do, or I would also add this, if you're doing a gut check, whether or not you want to do any courses or classes online, if you're a fire team leader or above, you can probably handle it. If you are a patrol leader, I guarantee that you can handle working online from home. I don't give a shit. I'll just go broad strokes. If you're a patrol leader who needs to put together a 5-paragraph order and you routinely take Marines and Corpsmen or your troop or whatever the hell, I don't know what the other branches call them, but like if you are the patrol leader, I guarantee you have enough discipline to work from home or work online. So don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
And that's the gut check for the fire team leader.
I would definitely. So, yeah. And if you're not a fire team leader, like let's put it as an Army guys, you were an E4, but you're just a glorified private as a specialist.
Yeah.
You may or may not. You know what I mean? You may or may not be able to do this. If you were a freaking terminal Lance Cooley, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you have it in you, but you have to want it. That's what it comes down to. The other guys, once you get up there, you kind of learn those techniques, or you realize what it's like to actually sit down and have to knock work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, also, I think that veterans that have school or online schooling, especially under their belt, have an advantage at this as well, because they've had to do that.
Right.
I mean, dude, work from home. I mean, you could work from, and look at like our friend Marty Skovlin. Homeboy's working out of a Starbucks half the time.
Dude.
Or you know what I'm saying? There was many a times when I did blog posts and stuff for this and other things that I do, where I just went to the library and like hung out for a few hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So working from home doesn't mean you're actually at home, but you have to find that spot where you can do it.
Right.
I mean, shit. I've recorded episodes of this from my car.
Right.
As you know, sitting in a McDonald's parking lot with free Wi-Fi, comfortable in my car.
Right.
But that was the Wi-Fi I had at the moment, So there is a great ability to be flexible, but you have to be organized. You have to have a schedule, because if you don't, yeah, dude, you're screwed. You're screwed. You're going to be jumping through your ass all the time trying to do something. But yeah, man.
Well, and it's funny because you bring up Marty, and I already know he has no problem with me sharing this.
No.
We went this time last year. We were out. Yeah, it was this time last year. We were out his way down to Colorado Springs. And we got on a big, long, epic road trip. Denver was on the list because my brother lives out there. Colorado Springs. I wanted to visit Mattfeld, who's out in Boulder. So good seeing that guy. And we will have more trips, Mattfeld, which we've had on the podcast. We should have him back on, man. He was one of the first guys who rolled us out.
Great episode, too.
Yeah. So we had Marty on, and when we went and visited him, we did two things that were great, amazingly great. One was you see Marty and what he's doing, and he's an awesome dude. And by then, he had won Nomadic Veterans Filmmaker's Choice Award at GI Film Festival with Nomadic Veterans and all of these other things.
By that point, had they put out POW yet? Not yet. No. They hadn't yet.
They hadn't. Oh.
It was like no, because they put it out. I think they had already made most of it.
Right.
But they hadn't... They hadn't released it because they did that on Veterans Day. So
right. So the other thing too is he had already published Violence of Action, which if you get a chance, get the book. Definitely get the book. I mean, that's one of those things where sometimes you ask Audible, blah, 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 whatever. Get the book, read it in your own mind's eye. I don't really think that the audio is all that good, to be honest with you, because of the guy who reads it. Yeah. Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway. I would get Violence of Action in a heartbeat. But that leads up this story, because I said, where's your office? Where did you write Violence of Action? That's one of the things that I really love doing. Like, have you ever seen the picture of Einstein's desk hours after he died?
No.
Yeah, it's just stacks of papers and everything else that he was working on. He literally worked all the way up till the moment he died. And so I wanted to, it's just my thing. I love seeing where people work. I think it's so cool because it's the absolute behind the scenes. And Marty showed me the dent in his couch cushion and he's like, "This is my office." He's got his laptop and he's on the couch in between having to, watch the little one and look through research and everything else. It was the comfiest place. And he's like, many a night, it was whiskey and sitting here with my laptop going through all of this stuff. So the dent in the couch was a fantastic just sight to behold. And then we grabbed some lawn chairs and made our way out to basically a cliff. We're out on the edge of a cliff and a lot of the imagery that I had, the panoramics of the mountains, I took those when we were visiting Marty in Colorado Springs. And we were standing out on a cliff. We've got these lawn chairs out there. You guys will see the pictures. But we had a business meeting out there. And we sat out there for about 2 hours talking shop till it was too hot and dry and we were out of water and it was time to go in. So
that's awesome.
Well, that's entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
man.
it. I mean, you talk about other guys that we know that kind of do this. Well, look at Leo. He's like on another level with his writing and living in Mexico and Costa Rica and all over the place. But he writes his books and does blog posts he does articles and blog posts for other, entities. But he does it all from the road.
Right.
It's pretty awesome, So who else? Who else do we know?
Oh, who else do we know who works from the road?
Or from home, that like just kind of living that lifestyle.
Every full-time committed entrepreneur I know pretty much does it 50-50. And I would venture to say, you know what, just from my own experience and the other people that I know, like Dean Bunchu, the executive director over at Bunker Labs, he's another entrepreneur who works from home and is the executive director of Bunker Labs. That is encouraged in the organization. Yeah, right. Because it means you have skin in the game. And when you have skin in the game, things matter. Yeah. But when you're just I'm the ED and I come in here every day and I collect a paycheck. Yeah, that does not happen. That does not happen with Dean. That dude's awesome. Right. But he immediately comes to mind. We get more shit done at home than we do. When you go into the office, that's only for face-to-face interactions. The only time that I go into the frontier is because I need to do a meeting. Well, yeah, and too often times I think that what's funny is like people that, look at not most entrepreneurs, but when it comes to businesses, I mean, you spend literally 3/4 of your day in meetings and you're talking about nothing. Yeah, you're not when I could actually just, hey, if you really want me there, I can call in or I can Skype in or whatever, kind of crap like Cisco puts together to do, you know what I mean? Right. To do the video conferencing stuff, because you waste so much time when you're doing that stuff. I pretty soon, I mean, you might have places that are going to have, big offices and whatnot. Yeah. But I think that the future obviously is it's a transient population where like, if you need to come in, you can go in and like, you'll have a desk and you'll have a space. But that's why a lot of these newer companies, they don't have the cubicle type environment anymore. It's gone. It's going. It's not gone because trust me, it's still there. I mean, it's there more than anything. But you have these newer companies that are starting to get, and I'm not talking like Google that has like beanbag chairs all over the place, although that is cool and, all that stuff. But I'm just talking about having like the Frontier or Bunker Labs. You kind of have this communal workspace. You come in, you get stuff done if you need to. If you guys a couple of people need to meet, and then you move on. And that's what it's all about. It's just kind of like, it's nice to have that workspace, but I don't need it every day. Right. Well, and the thing that I'm always trying to figure out is I'm looking around at all of these corporate buildings and I'm going, what the fuck are people actually doing in there? Because I know
they're wasting a whole lot of time is what they're doing.
Well, right. And one of the things that immediately comes to mind is people spend a lot of time on the shitter at work. And when they're on the shitter at work, they're flicking through pictures of fucking cats on Imager or IMG Fave or, Pinterest or whatever. I mean, I get a surprising amount of work done sitting on the toilet. Whether that's gross or not, I don't really care, but I can fire off like 5 emails.
Right.
And then go back to work while I'm working on another, and here's the other thing too is I should probably really differentiate because I don't go to work. It's like I'm working and stuff like that. I'm just so obsessed over what we're doing in a very, very positive manner. That Eddie Lazary says work is only work if you would rather be somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I'm one of these guys where I'm constantly pushing towards the mission. And I don't need to talk to my wife about, pushing towards the mission. I see her and the kids. They go to school or daycare or whatever. She goes, and then I work. In the evenings, we've got our schedule so that we're together. But even still, I mean, my brain is constantly mulling over, what the next potential, just working over problems. Anytime that I read, it's not pertaining to business, keep in mind. It's pertaining to creating a future more often than not. Because right. I read creative text, business text, philosophical text, deep into Stoicism, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Terrible title, great book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Terrible title, great book.
Great book.
It's almost like they wrapped it in douchiness.
They wrapped it. But you also have, you've got all those types of books. I mean, like, what's the one that I just went through? But I did it on audio because I don't like wasting my time when I drive. I drive 2 hours a day. I'm in my car, but I can tell you that that's some of the most productive time that I have, at least for self-improvement or personal improvement. And God, how many conversations do you and I have while I'm driving in the fucking car where we just get it done, like the thinking part of this business,
Yeah.
Because I'm not texting, I'm not doing all that, but one of the coolest things I did find is, all right, so if you go, like, if you have it's every phone. You have a notes section in your phone.
Yeah.
Well, there is a voice transcription program that's in every phone as well. So you dictate into that and it goes into writing, which you can transfer then into a Word doc when you get to where you're going. Then you edit that Word doc and guess what? There's a blog post. There's a memo. There's a whatever. An email to your buddies. An email to your business partners. That and then also just the voice memo where stuff that you need to do, stuff that comes to your mind. Like you're just driving along and bing, there you go. You got some awesome idea. Well, you're not going to sit there in traffic and write it down, or you shouldn't. Right. Sit there and write it down as you're going 90 down the, New York State Thruway.
Of course not.
And then, but I make a voice memo of it. And then I go through those at the end of the week. Yep. And I discard the shit that's bad and I input the stuff that's good. And that's what turns into half the shit we do.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's how you do that stuff. I mean, people always talk about, I want to write a book. Well, you know what? You don't have to write a book. You can talk a book into a phone or into a transcription or into a dictaphone or whatever the hell they call them now.
Dictaphone.
Well, that's what they used to be called.
I know, in the 1800s. Right.
What's funny is my mom used to work for them for the medical transcription stuff. And you said transcribe, and they were actually called dictaphone. I always laughed every time I heard it.
Our overall network, right? Can we just scope this a bit here? Because people are going, hey, how do you get shit done? You're in upstate New York. Tim is out in Jayville area. Sebastian's out in Northern California right now. We've got publishers down in Alabama, and then you have the broader scope of the overall network across the nation.
Yeah, so you've got...
So But the point that I'm looking to illustrate here is that we've
Garrett
got
Mitchell out in
Northern California, but we've got I have like 5 or 6 main veterans here in Raleigh with me that I'm around, and then the broader platoon, so to speak, is across the U.S. And that's how we get stuff done. And then we link it through the bunker in order to accelerate it.
Absolutely.
I'm just giving up the secret sauce so that people understand clearly, like, we worked from home, we put together our business plan, we put together our models, we each had failures before in the past, we started doing the podcast, we remained consistent with it, and then we approached Bunker Labs wanting to hook and jab with them, and they invited us into the cohort. TED Talk, I got invited in as program director, so I do a lot more stuff with Bunker. Cigars and Sea Stories has always been consistent. We revamped the website, and then now we're going through this next iteration where we've got cigarsandseastories.com/business plan creator. That's /business plan creator. So that's you fill in the blanks, turns into a Word document. We're writing books. We've got that lined up. So there's a number of different things that are happening in the background. And then as those start to release and different things that are out there, we're gathering your input on where you want to take the adventure now as we accelerate and grow this thing with the help of Bunker Labs. And by help of Bunker Labs, I mean the fellow cohort members that we have the ability to interconnect with and take advantage of this overall network as cohort members. That is to say, our business was a cohort member, not me, not Bennett. Our entity is a cohort member. Mm-hmm. So there you go. I mean, that's you're looking for a pathway. You're trying to figure out, hey, how are you guys doing this stuff? And what have you been up to? That's the Cliff Note version, and it's been hard. I don't think challenging is the right word.
No.
I think challenging is boot camp and SOI and the first couple of months in the fleet. I think hard is like sacrificing a lot of time and going a long, long ways without getting paid and teaming up with your buddies and making all of that happen. So there are other additional factors, but we'll circle back around to working from home because the majority of it has been the vast majority of it has been work from home. And I would say about 1% of it so far has been going to RTP. There's been a lot of get outside the building, go and meet people, drive around. Very, very little, if any, go in and sit in an office, which that would kill me. So hence why I don't do it. But there you go. Working right. The biggest thing that I always tell folks in working from home is get a headset for your cell phone and make sure that you've got a dry erase board or something else, something big, something obtruse that keeps you on task. So you sat down when you were highly motivated, you wrote it all out, exactly what you were going to do, and now you need to stay on task because you can only focus on that which you can control. And sometimes the stuff that you can control isn't necessarily moving in the right direction, or so you think, because you don't see the gains right away. I'm telling you, it's a lot like working out.
Right.
It really is. It's like learning any other discipline. It's like you just suck at hockey at first. It's okay to suck at hockey. It's totally fine. If you're 10 years into playing hockey and you still suck at hockey, that's not okay. That's not okay. If you're 10 minutes into learning how to play hockey and you suck at it, that's totally fine. It's 10 weeks, still suck, totally fine. 10 years, can't stop sucking. You've been practicing a long time. What the fuck? You know what I mean? I don't know. Poor analogy?
I don't know.
Maybe it's too fucking early. This is a morning episode. This is it's like getting up and going on a hump. Maybe I should just pound coffee. People will definitely know that it's a morning episode. I finally sound awake.
Finally.
Usually record at night, and it's like you've got a full day of working from home, which frankly is a little bit more tedious in my opinion than working from, not tedious, tiring, exhausting. Yeah.
Right.
You have support, you just don't have, I don't know what it's like working in an office. I don't know. I got out of the Marine Corps.
Exhausting.
I sold AV
because
equipment
so
at Best Buy.
There.
Yeah, see, fuck that. If I had to deal with civilian bullshit drama, fuck that. Let me tell you right now how much I don't give a fuck about civilians' problems. You're welcome. Bing!
Right.
Dude, I'm telling you, every time it circles back to the coffee. Because I hear somebody complain about coffee, and I'm just thinking in the back of my head, like, fuck you, dude. I used to pour coffee grounds into a tube sock and dip it into a teapot that I would hold over an open flame in order to get boiling. Like, you have no idea how fucking luxurious your life is. And it drives me nuts. And I bite my cheek, and I'm like, I'm just going to walk right past this asshole. Not a big deal. I don't have to deal with him on the daily. But it's like you have never tube socked your morning coffee. Dude, and people are like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? You wake up with a caffeine headache. The next time you wake up with a caffeine headache, you think to yourself, would I put coffee in a tube sock and dip it into a fucking teapot? I guarantee you would. It's clean tube sock. It's coming fresh out of the package. It was a damn good idea. Hey, Pop Quiz Hot Shot, what do you think tea bags are made out of? That's right, cotton.
Cotton. Yeah, man. All right, let's wrap this sucker up.
You can tell that it's the morning because Bennett doesn't talk in the morning, and I'm like a fucking motor mouth.
Because all I do is get work done.
Yeah, see,
not that. What you know what I'm saying?
I'm
like
sucking.
I that's my research time. It like gets my shit rolling up.
Right.
And see here, this is the other thing that we do a lot of times. Not when we have guests, but usually when we do, him and I episodes and, team episodes, a lot of times I know I do. I'm sitting here going through shit on the internet because that's just multitasking. That's what I do. That's what I do in my job too. So my actual day job, I guess you could call it.
All that productivity, all that work.
Yeah, no, it's all about productivity. So, then, there's nothing that says I can't have a conversation and still be productive. I mean, unless you can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Right. It's the same concept, but sorry, whatever. That's just the way my brain works.
So if you were looking for like tools and resources and all of this other shit, yeah, nope, figure that out. Tabs.
Go to our freaking Go to every episode we've ever freaking done. There's a million.
Right. But I just mean like there's always something new that is going to make it easier for you to work from home. If it works for you, cool. If it doesn't work for you, whatever, man. On to the next. So, the thing that I would like to reiterate is have some fucking discipline in a nasty stinking day god body. And, fucking work from home because you rate. Like, especially if you're if you're a patrol leader, work from home. Just do it. You'll have fun. Anyway. If you guys ever have any questions or if you want to message us, feel free to hit us up on Facebook. We've had other folks message us. Other entrepreneurs, folks who just want to share their love about the show. If you would please subscribe, rate, review the podcast. We're looking for more reviews on iTunes, especially. 92% of you guys listen to us on iTunes or some other Apple device, which is pretty telling. So, if you would please write a review on there, that would be greatly appreciated. Again, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM. We're going to do some different updates and tweaks also to the website. We'll put some subscription bar on there. We've been fiddling around. Quick shout out to Jeremy over at Spartan Media. The guy is fantastic. He's been laid up with back problems and all sorts of stuff. If you follow him on social media, it's just been a long road to hoe. But much love over to our brother. So, again, subscribe, rate, review, work from home. Bennett, you got anything else for these good people?
I don't. This is crazy. Other than I'm reading about how genes express I'm reading about gene expression on a biological level. So this is what I read about, guys. Sorry.
If all else fails, we're interesting.
Right.
So if you guys if you guys ever want to get in touch with us, feel free to hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter, whatever it is, reach out and we'd love to chat with you. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Cigars and Sea Stories. And on that note, we cue the music.
Of United States Marine. Setting sun.